Hello everybody, how are you doing today? My name is Trisha Schinkel. I am your intuitive spiritual healer and emotional wellness coach from innerbuddha.ca. And today is our energy reading for December 28th, 2020. So it's almost New Year's. 2020 is almost over. Can you believe it? I'm pretty excited about it. I know a lot of you are probably looking forward to this year being done and being complete, and there might be a little bit of fear, a little bit of worry about going into 2021. You don't know what to expect, but these readings are here to help you ground your energy, get grounded in the energy of what's going on so you can navigate it better. So that's what I love to do for you, and this I can do for free, so it's amazing. I love giving you this gift of knowing, because honestly, the more you educate yourself, the more you know about what's going on, the less you don't know, and the less you can actually feel that fear of the unknown, because the unknown is scary, right? And just kind of tuning in, learning how to tap in is really all it takes. So I'm very happy and excited that I get to bring this message to you guys, and you guys are here so receptive to it, and it blows me away sometimes. So I just wanted to start with a little bit of a gratitude, because I am grateful for you and this year. This year, as much as it has been a hindrance and an irritation of just being separate from everyone, it's also a really reflective time too, right? And there's a lot that you can actually take out of this year. It forced me included, it forced all of us to get a little bit more in tune with who we really are and what we want, and what we isn't really working for us anymore. It's almost like it was a decluttering almost of a year, right? So taking out what wasn't working, and adjusting what is working to make it work a little bit better, right? And that's kind of what I've been sensing when I tapped into the energy of this week, is really just, it's, reminiscing, looking back at everything that kind of brought you into this moment, into this space, into this place, right? It's appreciating all of the darkness with the light, right? Because this year has been a lot of darkness and a lot of truth telling, and seeing things that you didn't want to see, or experiencing things you didn't want to experience. They all hold lessons for us, which is pretty powerful. And then the more that you lean into those lessons, and instead of looking at what has happened, look at how it affects you. That's big, because no matter what happens, we all interpret it a little bit differently, right? A really great example of this is when there's two people coming to a stop sign, right? And one person could be late and in a hurry and rushed, and the other one was just having a good day, and then all of a sudden they both collide. They have the same experience, right? But one person will internalize it a lot differently than the other person, because of the energy that they were feeling at the time of the accident, right? And one person could take it like, this is a really big wake-up call. This is something that, it could be that moment of realization that they need to be a little bit more present in their life, right? Then the other person could go down the victim mentality and say, oh, of course this happens to me, and well, I'm late and I'm rushing, and it's just all about how you internalize it, how you take in the messaging of the experience. You guys, that's the biggest thing, is just understanding that you have power over the meanings that you give anything, right? It's knowing that you can change the energy at any time. And that's what these readings are about, is just that realization within yourself and your own situations. Because you can experience the same thing as somebody else, but you're going to internalize it a lot differently. Their situation is going to change, right? In some way, shape, or form. So I found myself personally this week, I had a desire, like almost like an inkling, like a pushing to go and clean out my drawers, my dressers, and clean out. I wasn't happy with a lot of my clothes, right? So how I project myself onto this world. I wanted to, I used to work in an office and I had to dress up all the time, right? and be in that work office attire. And I really enjoyed it. I really loved dressing up and getting into that. But then, being at home, COVID, and, not having to dress up as much anymore, and being a full-time mom, and then doing this, I kind of slacked a little bit. And I've been feeling it within myself. So this week, I particularly felt like it was time to declutter. And then I realized it wasn't just decluttering my dressers and the clothes I was wearing. It was also getting rid of my old self, of who I thought I used to be. That is an identity that I had, right? And let me know if this resonates with you, because we're in this time now where we're being called to let go of who you thought you were. And we're being called to take away the labels we give ourselves. We're being called to just be ourselves. I'm being called to be Trisha, just Trisha. Yes, I am an intuitive healer. Yes, I am an emotional wellness coach. And I do all these different things within those labels. But then I'm also a mom. I'm also a wife. I'm also a sister. I'm also a daughter, right? So there's all these identities. And within these identities that we carry, we have these roles that we play, right? But that's still limiting yourself in so many ways, because me as a woman, it's almost as expected for me to have that feminine nature. But to be honest, I have more masculine energy. I have that go, 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 action, taking action all the time. So, and then I find it, sometimes it's hard for me to be nurturing and loving and caring for myself and my children. A lot of the times I'm just like, hey, let's do this. Let's go, go, go. But now this year, it forced me to slow down. It forced me to have days where we didn't do anything. And that gave my ego a reality check. It was like, it rocked me. It was an ego death, right? A part of me died. But that's not a bad thing. That's the thing. People look at things like, that part of me died and it's so sad, and it's, no, that part of you needed to pass away so that you could step into who you truly are, without the labels, without the identities, without these expectations, without all of that, right? It's actually more freeing when you just are, you just be. You just who you are, and that's okay. And if you're not sure of who you are, then this is the time to dive into checking in. What is it that you really want? What is it that you really like? What do you enjoy? What is your creative spark, right? It's interesting because I just watched that new movie from Disney, Soul. And if you haven't seen it on Disney Plus, I would highly recommend it, because it is impactful. The main message of that is to just experience life, right? I'm gonna let you watch the movie if you want, but it's a beautiful story, and it really changes the perspective of things, and you can see life in a different way. And it's really just about being yourself and enjoying, embracing every part of you. And that is what this message this week is clearly trying to tell us, because we're coming to an end of 2020. So this is an end of a really crazy, messed up year, but we're coming from a completion into something new, into a new beginning, into a new phase, into a new part of us, right? So it's about emerging, really. That's the thing. As I was thinking about the word of the year, And for me personally, it was completion. It really was completion, because I was completing these roles that I was playing. And now I'm just stepping into something that I feel I'm really meant to do. And I'm here to help. And that's the thing, through my coaching and through my healings, that's what I offer, is coming to a place of finding out and realization of who you really are, and then embracing that. And stepping through and letting go of all of the heartache, all of the pain and the trauma and everything, and looking at it, taking that pain and trauma. You're not rejecting it. That's the thing. You don't want to ever reject anything. What you want to do is embrace it. Embrace the pain. And how you do that is by gratitude, is by thanking the pain for showing up in your life and showing you how you feel about something, right? So if you really, really don't like something, then that automatically shoots the rocket of desire into the opposite direction to what you actually do want. So you're finding out through what you don't want, what you actually want, right? That's something that Abraham Hicks teaches all the time. It's so beautiful, right? So going forward, instead of rejecting your darkness and rejecting all of those parts of you, those things that you've done in your past that you're just so shameful and guilty and you don't want to even talk about, it's time to love those parts of you, to embrace them and thank them for showing up, for showing you what you do not want, so you can become even more clear on what it is that you do want. And that is what this is all about. So, also, another thing is to laugh at yourself, to laugh at your little mistakes, your faults, your insecurities. It's okay to have those things, because you're human. You're going to feel things, because that's what you came here to do. You came here to feel the feels, right? And embrace it and love it and enjoy it. And don't take it so seriously. As hard as that is, because we can easily get wrapped up in the what he said or she said, or what did they do to you, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Those are the catalysts. Those are the triggers to ignite your passions. Those are the things that have to happen in your life. Those traumatic times, those have to happen so that you can wake up to the bigger part of you, so that you can see what's on the other side of that and start to explore and to feel it and experience it and be in it and embrace it. And you're being called to stop tiptoeing around the truth. It's time to start being more honest with yourself and speaking your mind and saying what you actually mean. And don't be afraid of hurting other people's feelings, because if you are so strong on who you are, you can tell people things in a way that's not going to hurt them. You're not doing it from a place of judgment. You're doing it from a place of truth. And that's not going to hurt anybody's feelings. That's something that you believe in. And if they choose to believe it, great. If not, that's fine too, right? They don't have to be on your side. They just have to understand that you are speaking your truth, and you're finally embodying, you are in alignment with who it is that you are. And that is really big, super big. So it's just embracing your uniqueness, embracing your silliness, your craziness, your weirdness, your faults, your imperfections. Embrace it all, love it. It's who you are. It's what makes you you. And that is the most beautiful part, really. So you are being asked to not be afraid to ask for what you really want. Because by now, I'm sure you would have experienced enough of what you don't want. That's easy to find. There's many things that we're just programmed. We're so used to pointing out what we don't want, what we complain about, what we wish didn't happen, how we wish things went different ways, right? Start looking at the ways that it actually embodies, no, that's not the right word. Start looking at the ways that you can embrace all of those things about yourself in a more constructive way, in a more loving and understanding way, and understand that your things are going to happen, and you are not the only one that this is all happening to. Everybody, every single one of us is experiencing some kind of pain and trauma in our lives. Some of us are better at hiding it than others, but it's all going to come out at some point. So you are being called to start asking for what you really want and standing in it strong, and just stand in that place of this, I deserve this because I want it. And you don't have to justify why you want things. You don't have to explain it. You just do. You just want it, right? That's it. So, and one thing I also want to mention too is that if you want something and you tell yourself, oh my God, that's so ridiculous, that's so out there, that's never going to happen. Clear that out, because the more ridiculous and out there it is, the better it is. That's more in tune with what you really truly want, with who you truly are. The more ridiculous, that's just judgment. You're just judging what you truly want. And there might be a part of you that believes that you don't deserve it. So then those judgments are coming up to prevent you from actually going through your fears. You're stepping through your fears of requesting what you want. So, it's like a double-edged sword. All right. I'm going to break into the cards because I've talked quite a bit. But this is all the things that I've been experiencing myself. And if I've been experiencing it, I find a lot of other people are too. They're just haven't been in tune with what's actually going on, right? It's so easy to get wrapped up in the drama of he says, she says bullshit, right? That's really what it is. But okay, so I'm going to get into these cards. Oh. Wow, I didn't even really have to shuffle the deck. They kind of just started coming out. The first card that comes up was this one here. What do you desire? What do you desire? Literally what I just said. Ask for what you want, right? And don't be afraid of how ridiculous and stupid it sounds, because it's not. It's what you want. And that's as simple as that. So the card itself, it says, you now have the opportunity to write the script according to your heart's truest desires. Once you clearly decide upon your truest desires and know that they're already yours and you are deserving of them, they will rush into your life. That's all you need to do, is own it and know that you are deserving and worthy of everything you've wanted and more. And the only thing that is preventing you from getting it is that story that you keep telling yourself, like, oh, that's so ridiculous. Oh, that's so far out there. Oh, that'll never happen. Oh, that'll never happen for me. These are the things that are blocking it. It's like asking the universe, come bring this to me. And then they bring it to you and you're like, oh no, that's not good enough. Are they going to keep bringing you presents, right? No one's going to keep bringing you presents if you keep rejecting it, right? So ask for what you want. Stand in the ownership of this is what I want, because that's all I want. That's it. You don't have to justify it in any other way. And the next card that came out was acceptance. Acceptance of who you are and where you are and the identities that you've used to describe yourself. And identity has served purpose up until this point, but going forward, you can stand in knowing who you are and not have to label it, right? Acceptance. It says, see yourself and others through the eyes of the angels with unconditional love and acceptance. In this way, you inspire and lift everyone else to their highest potential. So you standing in your own greatness, your own power, it gives others permission to do the same, because they see you do it and they're like, okay, well, maybe I can do this too, right? And it all starts with a choice of just choosing to do it, to accept who you are and where you are. And that's the thing, is if you're having issues with relationship problems with people in your lives, a lot of the times it's you not accepting some kind of aspect of the relationship is what's causing the tension. That's what it comes down to. There's all these stories, all these things that happened, but none of that really matters. what really matters is the energy between the two of you. And it could be because if there's a rejection there, you're pushing it away, and what you push away is going to persist. What resists persists, right? So it's allowing yourself to see things from a different angle. I know with one of my sisters, I had a long time, I didn't want to, I'm getting real here with you. I didn't want to accept some part of her life, and it was her relationship. I wasn't accepting of that. So I pushed her away for a very long time, and it damaged our relationship so much that we didn't talk for months and months and months at a time. And it wasn't until I realized that no matter what I thought of this person in her life, it didn't matter. The relationship with us, it couldn't bloom, it couldn't become real until I got to that point of acceptance. Accepting that she makes her own choices, and accepting that I can love her through her choices. That's the biggest thing. And it took a lot for me to overcome that. But once I did, it became a lot easier, and it just started to flow. It started to get into this place of more love, more acceptance, more connection, right? So it's just about seeing things from a different angle and knowing that everyone's going through their own thing too, right? You may not even realize what they are experiencing because they're not telling you, but you can feel it if you tune into it. And it's just accepting them in that moment is all that they need to make that relationship better, you know? So the next card that came out was change in direction. This is a perfect card for this time of year, right? This is the card where it's a new year, it's a new chapter, it's a new book, it's a new whatever you want to call it. But it's a time for change. It's a time to start embracing what it is that you actually want and pull into your life. So the card itself, it says the changes you are experiencing are divinely directed by your newborn willingness to open your heart to love and follow guidance from the angels. It says you are protected now and in the future. So follow your path and be happy with the outcomes that you desire. So just again, you are in control of your own ship. And that's kind of the message here, right? You get to choose your experience and how you experience things. It's all about just getting in tune with what you want. I don't know how else to say it, but that's it, right? That's really it. The last card that came out is a very important one. And it's grounding yourself. Grounding yourself in your choices that you make, your experiences that you have, and grounding yourself in the moment, in the here and now. The here and now. Always bringing yourself back into this place of where you are, right? Because and you're human, and you don't have to be upset about, not staying present all the time, because you're not going to. And that's okay. That's a human thing to do. We're going to get sidetracked. We're going to fall off path. The most important thing is how fast can you get back on, right? How fast can you catch yourself? And it's just a practice. It's just starting with observing with your thoughts and patterns, observing what it is that makes you tick, right? And then once you observe, you can kind of make note of the things that aren't working so well and then change them, because you are the director of your own ship. That is big. I do feel that there's another card to be coming out here. I'm going to pull from my Starseed deck. Awesome. From Rebecca Campbell. And I want to see what else is coming out, because there's something else that needs to come. Another message. Some more guidance. I can feel it. Okay. this card is what kind of, I just got dizzy looking at it. I remember. I remember. That's what we're doing here. That's what the whole purpose of this is to remember our greatness. Remember our soul's path. Remember what we came here to do. And you know what that is? To experience. Experience. What now? The thing is that everybody has their own experiences that they want to have in their life. It's about tuning in, and the only way you find out is tune into the things that make you excited or nervous. That nervous, like, ooh, I really want to do that, but I don't know if I can. Guess what? You want to do it because you can do it, and you are being drawn to it for a reason. It's your job to find out what that reason is. And that is what I'm going to end this reading with, is just remembering the card itself. It says soul plan, the fated life versus destiny life. So the fated life, the fate, your fate, that's in your hands. You're destined. That is something that your soul contract has. You're destined to always, come into different scenarios, meet different people. The people that we meet in our lives, we meet them because we're soul contracted to. And there's these people in your life that you meet that you recognize right away, and you feel like you've known them forever, even though you just met them yesterday, right? These are the relationships that have big, significant meaning. And these are typically the ones that trigger you the most. And sometimes it can start off as a really pleasant relationship and it can turn sour. But that's the thing, it was supposed to, because it was supposed to trigger you, to move you forward, to propel you, it's like the catalyst to get you to where you need to be, back on track. If you fall out of alignment of your path, of where you're destined to be, things are going to start to happen. People are going to pop up in your life and trigger you. These could be people that you know. These could be new people. These could be things that you see while you're scrolling, right? They are going to put you back into alignment because that is what they were contracted to do. In your soul contract, before you come to earth, you make agreements with people. Say, okay, if I fall off track, you have to come in and blow shit out of the water so that I can come back to what my purpose is, right? And you might even realize, you might even be thinking of these people in your lives right now as I'm saying this, right? These are people that you don't know what you're going to do with these relationships. Sometimes they drag out too long. Sometimes people are only supposed to be in your life for, there's a saying. It says, people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. It's your job to figure that out. If they're only coming in for a reason, and you hang on to that relationship for longer than you should, things are going to fall apart, and it's going to be, it's going to deteriorate, right? And it's like you're hanging on to something, but you don't need to. Let it go, right? But if they're in a season, then they're coming into your life for a little bit longer, maybe a year or two, maybe 5 years, right? To really teach you something, to kind of put you back on course, to bring you back into alignment of what you're destined to do, to change your fate. Because your fate is something that karma brings up, right? Your fate is something that you're on a certain path, and if you stay on that path, it's your fate that something's going to happen, right? But you can change it if you take a step sideways, right? Or step off that path onto a new path and step onto the path where it feels right, where you feel drawn to, right? If you're on a path that you're not feeling very much about, you're not supposed to be there. It's the path where you feel the most is where you're going to get the most experiences, you're going to have the most growth, and that's where you're going to have the most clarity too. So it's all about getting in line with remembering, I remember who you are, where you are, what's going on, and what is right for you. All right. So that was a lot. I hope it wasn't too much for you to take in, but the main message here is to just start letting go of who it is that you have been building up until this point, and seeing what it's like to be free from all of your labels. And just, if you remove every single one of your labels and your identities, what's left? Just you, right? Just you. Not just you. You're pretty awesome, by the way. But that's just it. So getting in tune with what you desire, accepting and giving love to all of the relationships that have hurt you in the past, that have gotten in your way, that have tripped you up, that made you fail or have make mistakes. All of that is, there's no wrong or right in it. It just is. It's there to teach you something. So look for the lesson within it, read between the lines, and you will be your own fortune teller. All right? So I send you so much love and so much light, and I wish you the best in this year, the rest of this year and 2021, because I won't see you for the rest of the year. All right. Mwah. I send you so much love. Take care.